Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford City v Doncaster Rovers match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. It's the morning after the night before, and what was probably the best atmosphere at an away game I've been to. But obviously, well, I didn't go to a Swansea game, but I'm sure you've been to better. But that was an unbelievable atmosphere, and I'm a big believer that we won that game as the fans. I think we sucked the ball into the back of the net, and when you hear ex-Premier League players and, fans and people talk about, teams sucking the ball into the back of the net, like at Ibrox, Celtic Park, Anfield, Goodison, maybe Villa Park they talk about as well, all these big stadiums. But we did that, and I always thought, we need to turn Valley Parade into that. A knowable place to go for the away fans, not for the, for the away players, sorry, not the home players. And if we can, we did our part, and the players then did theirs, because I don't think we urged them to get forward. We encouraged them to get it forward, and you always say get it forward, and I do like possession football, and I like mixed, and we mixed it up. You can't be one dimensional. You can't just play one way. It's good to build from the back and play out. But if you're going somewhere with it, and if there's somewhat, there's somewhat to what you're doing, then if you're progressing, that's what I'm trying to say, up the pitch, and not just playing it backwards all the time and playing it forward and back, and it's not going anywhere. But we mixed it up. We controlled the game when we needed to, and then we'd play it forward into channels for Cook to get one onto. I thought Costello had a very good game. I thought everyone had a good game. Everyone's at least a 7, at least a 4. Sorry, match ratings have changed because it's 1 to 5, because I can't do 1 to 10 in the community tab, so I'm going to do 1 to 5 as well. So let me know your match ratings either in the comments down below or on the community tab. But it was a fantastic second half, and probably the best second half of the season. If that second half performance probably warranted the best performance all season. For an half, and I said whoever scores the first goal would be vital. But like I said, we took the ball in the back of the net because their defence were rattled. The goalkeeper made a big mistake. I thought Stubbs, ran across him and put him off a bit, but he should be claiming that. But yeah, I mean, Andy Cook's like a magnet. It goes towards him, sticks to his head, and then he presses a button and it goes straight back into the back of the net. 20 goals for the season now. To talk over the last few seasons, we need a 20-goal a season striker, and we've had one for the last 2 or 3 seasons, but we've had incompetent managers really who can't get the best out of him or can't motivate him. Whereas Mark Hughes, he probably shouldn't have benched him for what was it, about probably over 5 games, probably around 8 games he benched him for after a 3-game goal drought. But it's motivated him. If he's motivated him by doing that, or in pre-season to get a bit leaner, he's definitely getting the best out of him, and he probably knows him more because he's probably a similar type of player to what Mark Hughes was. So I thought we controlled the game when we needed to, we mixed it up when we needed to, and then we didn't have any individual performances. Everyone played well as a team. The midfield worked together well and worked hard off the ball, and then on the ball, when you're playing Clayton, Smallwood and Gilliard as a midfield 3, they're going to lack in creativity. But I thought we used the wide options well. Walker went in the channels as well, so it gives us a bit of width. Walker, Costello, Cook drifting wide, and then we had a few options in the box from the midfielders coming in as well, and it was just a really good performance in that second half, and we were dominant. But I mean, we're still 8th with 51 points, probably easily 10 points ahead where we are last season, and we've still got 2 more games, or maybe 3 more games in hand from last season. That shows you the progress we've made. 14 wins, that's already, what is it, 2 more than last season, maybe 3. It's a load more than last season. But in terms of third, Stevenage lost. They're on a very poor run. They're at least 5 games without a win, and they're on a blip, and hopefully it continues because it opens a gap for us, maybe to get in there. There's only 6 points between us and Stevenage. Obviously we haven't got to play them yet, but we still have to play Northampton, Carlisle and Leyton Orient. You might as well just give them the title now. They won a bit of a blip, and now they've turned that around, and like we probably all knew they would. But everyone from probably 15th are still in the race for the playoffs. Wimbledon, who are 10th, are only 10 points off Mansfield, but I'd probably count Walsall and Wimbledon out of it. Tranmere are back in it. Have you seen their fixtures, their next 5 fixtures? They've got Harrogate, Colchester, Gillingham, Hartlepool, Carlisle, and I think they might have Rochdale as well, or Newport. They've got some very easy fixtures, so they'll get back in it. Doncaster are poor, and now they've got 2 defeats in a row. I think the only thing they can rely on is the lack of draws to get them in there, but they were poor, and they looked really inexperienced. And our recruitment in January to bring more experienced players in, and that worked. I thought, we dominated them, and especially, shooting towards our fans in that second half, they look scared, which, can only be a positive. Swindon, they're looking a bit better than Barrow with 2 wins in a row. Sutton, they're looking steady, and they can put a race on. Mansfield got absolutely hammered by Salford, 5-2. I think it was 2-1 at half time. There were a few scores like that across the EFL today. And Stockport lost for the first time in ages, so there's room for manoeuvre, and there's definitely a way into that top 6. And with our fixtures, we have got some very winnable fixtures. I'd say we can win 10 games from now to end of the season. When you look at the fixtures, we've got quite a few teams towards the bottom end. We've still got to play Rochdale, still got to play I think we've still got to play Crawley, Hartlepool coming up as well, Gillingham twice. We've still got to play Colchester, Newport, Crewe, Grimsby, Walsall, who are on the best of one. We've got them coming up, obviously onto Gillingham, Colchester, and then I think it's Walsall in the week next. So we've got some big games coming up thick and fast, and hopefully we can continue this run, because we are on a pretty good run. And obviously that draw to Mansfield in the last minute, that hurts if we won that. Obviously the defeat to Barrow hurts, and the defeat to Rochdale. We've drawn and lost some stupid games in the last few, in the last month or month and a half. And if we can just amend that and stop losing those silly games that we shouldn't be, then we should be good for the playoffs, and it would be an interesting end to a season. But no matter what happens, something that I saw today was the club's way. It's just together, top to bottom. The manager loves it here. He said it in press conferences. You can tell. Winding away fans up in certain games. I think he did at Stockport and a couple of others. He loves it here, and we thought maybe his ego would get in the way, but he's made it clear that that's not the type of person he is. Harry Lewis absolutely loves the club. Andy Cook, passionate as ever. Heading towards one of our top goal scorers as well. Got to give him a new contract. Even Smallwood looked more up for it today than any time I've seen him all season. Clayton apologises for his performance against Barrow, and then a very good performance today against his former club. Odasebi, best fan base he could wish for, and I think that's 100% right. Other fan bases would have just wrote him off. 10 minutes or terrible injury. We don't need him. Our support today were fantastic. The only criticism I have to say, and it just don't sit right with me, is the flares at away games. It just don't sit right with me. But maybe I'm wrong. But it's with the history of the club and everything that's happened previously, it don't sit right. And one early on in the season where they were flaring the cop, that got flowed down. That definitely didn't sit right with me at the home game. Away, you can understand it a bit more. Pitch invaders, it's a passionate game, in the moment, so probably don't even know they're doing it. There's not too much of a problem with that, as long as they're not doing anything serious. But maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the one thing that doesn't sit right for me. But apart from that, you get idiots everywhere, and I'm sure Doncaster have their idiot fans, and it's just if you have loads of idiots, like Millwall or Leeds, for example. But a fantastic performance from the players and from the fans. I think, like I said, the fans won us that game for how well we performed. We did our job. So on to the player ratings. Harry Lewis gets a 7. Clean sheet, made some good saves. He made a couple of really good saves that I thought they're not going in, they're going over, and it just dipped. And it shows you that his mentality. Yeah, he made some very good saves. Again, Halliday gets a 7, best performance of the season for him. He's had some good praise on Twitter, which you like to see, but I think the Hulls team, deserves praise. I don't think there anyone in that team who don't deserve any praise, because they all had a very solid game. But yeah, Halliday down that right side, were driving forward more, I won't say taking players on, but he used his physicality and his strength, because he ain't the quickest, so he used that to his advantage. Defended well as well in one-on-ones. Platt covered for him a bit as well, and I thought he stood up to George Miller well, who obviously didn't do well at City, but he's having a good season at Doncaster, so he gets 7, because Miller were winning, in that channel, and he dealt with him well. And to be fair, I do quite like Platt, but if he's not having a good game, I will call it out. And I thought he had a good game. Stubbs gets 7. I haven't been keen on him. He got done at one point where I don't know why he made him it made him slip up, but I thought he was solid. I thought he stepped out of defence well, cut out, intercepted a few balls, and yeah, I thought he had a good game. Not too serious to criticise him on. And something I probably forgot about is the fact that he's barely played any football as well from coming to Exeter, and so his sharpness won't be the best, and he's on the left side. He's probably more suited to the right. So yeah, but a solid performance again by Stubbs. Wideout gets 7. Some good crosses, got forward well. Again, like Halliday, didn't just turn back, didn't take the easy option, especially in the second half. Drove forward, or played it forward into midfield. Smallwood 7. Thought he had a good game, and Wideout defended well as well. He used his experience. Smallwood 7. I thought he had a very good game. I think he got booked. It's the type of booking I think you'd take, but same with Clayton, and Walker and Costello. We had quite a few, didn't we? Smallwood, I thought he had a very good game. He gets criticised a lot, and maybe he's a scapegoat. He hasn't had some good games this season, and maybe even fashionable to say he's had a good game. But I thought he did play the ball forward more than he normally does. Being that type of player, he ain't creative, he ain't necessarily a box to box. He had a good chance that I thought he scored from. Keeper made a decent save. Was it his bottom right? It was a good shot. But I think the best thing with Smallwood is he cuts out play, goes into challenges, and he brings experience as well. And someone else who does is Adam Clayton. Against his former club, had a fantastic game. 7 for him, controls the game, dictates how the game's going to go. He uses experience really well, wins loads of free kicks, slows the play down when it needs to, speeds it up when it needs to. Got a good range of passing. I thought he had a fantastic game again, and it showed. But Doncaster fans were 100% wrong about him, and maybe it didn't suit their system, which probably goes down to their manager of not getting the best out of the players he had. Gilead 7. I thought he had a fantastic game again. Energy, cutting out play. A bit of a rat in the midfield. Sometimes a Gilead type performance can just go over your head and you can't really see it. But I think his energy and the way he gets around the pitch, the way he gets forward, he's maturing, uses his experience well as well. And I thought he had a very good game again. Walker 7. Bit quieter, but I think his work rate's really good. Like I say, running into channels, giving us a different option out wide, and created a fair bit as well. So he gets 7. Costello 7. Man of match for me. There's so many I could give man of match to, but I'm just giving it because it seemed like a bit of a turning point. The fans before the game see team news come out, you go, Costello, why is he sticking with him, why is he playing him? Maybe he saw some in training, I don't know. I thought he should have been playing a 4-2-3-1. I wasn't happy with the team, to be honest. I thought it should have been, I probably would have gone with Clayton, Gilead up front, and Banks and Chapman to the side of Walker in a 4-2-3-1. And I thought maybe Critchell and Bowler would have been back, but it goes to show that Mark Hughes does get it right, and that we all don't know more than him. But Costello was fantastic. His work rate into the channels, held the ball up really well. He got the ball in the penalty box, held it up, and then span him. And then he put a really good ball into the front post area, like a striker's dream of a ball, and no one was there. And you just think, well, if someone gets on the end of that, he gets praised for a fantastic ball, a great hold-up play, taking players on, and he looked really confident, and he had a better touch to him. so maybe he's a good player and he struggled to settle in, but this, some players have turning points where you go, that's the game where they showed us what he's got, and I think hopefully there's more to come with Costello. Hopefully in one game, and hopefully he takes it into Gillingham like all the players do. Got to get momentum now. Andy Cook gets 7, obviously. A fantastic performance by him, and he just always scores. And on Andy Cook, he is only the 5th player since 1990 to score 20 goals in a season for Bradford City. Sean McCarthy did it twice, Lee Mills, Dean Windass twice, Naki Wells, and now Andy Cook. That was from Bantam's Heritage on Twitter, a very good account. So he's obviously a fantastic player. Obviously, we've all wrote him off at some point during his tenure at City, like anyone. But he just finds the back of the net, and I don't know how he does it. He's always in the right place. I thought it was Stubbs who scored. I don't know who scored, but I thought, surely it ain't Cook again. And it was. So he's just fantastic. He knows where the back of the net is. And also 250th win from Mark Hughes in his managerial career, and I'm sure he'll love that as well. So a really good second half performance. First half, against an empty stand, wasn't bad. We controlled the game a bit, and didn't really give them a sniff. And then second half against the 4,000 fantastic City fans, we went for them and basically demolished them. Chance after chance after chance, and I thought we have to take a chance at some point. And then there were more chances than ever, but ball came into a box, keeper made a mistake, and there's Andy Cook. So a massive win. Got to take into the next few. On to Gillingham on Tuesday night, away from home. It's always a place you don't really want to be going on a Tuesday night, especially if it's raining. But we've got to take into that game, and then Colchester at home, then Walsall, Newport out the pool. Some very winnable games in there, and Carlisle from now to maybe Northampton or Swindon on the 18th of April. From now to those games, we've got some winnable games. I mean, Sutton, Carlisle, Northampton, Leyton Orient, Swindon. Walsall maybe if they turn up, some winnable games, and like I say, I think 10 wins. Gillingham, Colchester, Newport, Hartlepool, Crewe, Grimsby, Crawley, Rochdale, Gillingham. There's some very winnable games in there, and we've got to be taking advantage of it. We've got to be, forming a real good push for the playoffs now, and even put some pressure on, your likes of Stevenage who are slipping up, your likes of Carlisle who were previously slipped up, and I don't know if they can continue to run. You look at that squad and you think, can it continue a sustained run? We'll see what we do when we take them to Valley Parade, but that's the only criticism I'll constantly have. We've got to take it into our home form, and hopefully we can take our atmosphere into the home form as well and make it an awful place to go for the away fans and the away players, because Valley Parade's a place where teams can sit back and frustrate the fans. But that didn't happen today. We encouraged them, and we got behind them, even if it was 0-0, and we played it back a few times. We were still in the game, and it was a fantastic atmosphere, and hopefully we can all take it into Gillingham on Tuesday, and hopefully this game's a turning point for not only some players but also for the team. Have a good one.